Okay, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can see you too.
Okay. Yeah, so we're going to deal with what Jesus said about Jesus. Who did Jesus tell? He told the disciples, right? He said, some of them would not die until they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom.
Yep.
So he said, no man knows the day or the hour, but he did give us the generation,
Yep.
So he said they wouldn't even make it through the towns of Israel before they seen, I think it's in Matthew 10:23. He said, y'all wouldn't even finish making it through the towns of Israel before you see the Son of Man coming in this kingdom. So what my point is, Jesus told the disciples that they could expect him to come back. But he never told them.
What verse did you say that was you were reading?
Matthew 10. Is it Matthew 10:23?
Matthew 10:23 says, but when they persecute you in the city, flee ye into another. For verily I say unto you, you shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come.
What you do with that verse?
See, but when, all right, let me read the context. Well, you know, context is king, man. Let me back up. I'm gonna start here. At verse 19. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what you shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what you shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. But when they persecute you in this city, flee you into another. For verily I say unto you, you shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. The disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. It is enough for the disciple that he be as his master.
That's
And the
that
servant
slave master talk. Slave and talking about master and Lord.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it in there.
I got a shirt that says Dulios, de Christos.
Servant.
Yep.
Yeah. That
slave.
every time they translated it servant, but it really means slave.
Yeah.
John
Yeah.
MacArthur.
Well, every time Dulios occurs, they don't always translate it to servant, but most of the time they do. But it's more appropriately translated slave.
Yeah.
Yep. So what I do with that verse is looking at the context. He's talking about, when he's delivered, when the followers are delivered up and they're starting to be persecuted, he's saying, don't worry about what you're going to say, because I'll give you what you're going to say. I'll be with you. And then he's talking about how families are going to, betray families, and you're going to be hated by everybody. And they're going to, and he says they're going to persecute you from city to city, and you just keep moving along. Just go from city to city. And then it says, for verily I say unto you, you shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. Now that's something that gives me a reference here to John 7:1. So let me see what John 7:1 says.
And while you reading that, I just throw this Matthew 24, 34. He said, verily I say unto you, this generation, what generation? This generation that he was speaking to shall not pass till all things be fulfilled. You believe Jesus fulfilled everything?
Well, I believe that your understanding or interpretation of that is a little bit off.
You don't even have to. It's clear what he's saying.
He says this generation. He's talking about the generation of the fig tree, because he's talking about the parable of the fig tree.
I can take you to another scripture where I remember he said there are some of you standing here who will not, die, not taste death until you see the Son of Man coming in the soul. That's clear.
You want to know something? That verse bothers me.
I know it do, because it's clear.
Yeah. I mean, because I believe everything in Scripture is true, and he says that. So, I mean, but I don't put it past God that he could have somebody that was standing in his presence that day that is still alive today. And I don't put it, that's not outside of God's power. And so I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. I'm just being honest with you, my friend. I mean, seriously. I mean, that's how, but let me get back.
Even in Revelation.
John 7.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I know you want to ask about that. I want to answer your question, but to properly answer a question, you can't just read a verse and then just spout out stuff. You gotta dig, man. This is why I was talking treasure hunt, bro.
Yeah.
7.
You say John 7?
Yeah. John 7. Let me look back at the reference. We were in Mark 10, 23. No.
You say
what was the verse you had me read? Mark or Mark 10?
About this generation shall not pass.
No, the one about going from city to city until
Matthew 10, 23.
Matthew 10, 23. And I apologize if I start coughing because I've been sick for the last week, so feel like a coughing fit coming. All right, John 7:1. So it's John 7:1, and it says, reading from John 7 verse 1 says, after these things Jesus walked into Galilee, for he would not walk in jewelry, because Jews sought to kill him. Now the feast of the tabernacle was at hand. So now it's going back to, like, he's warning them about when they get scattered, when he's taken in captivity and they're gonna get scattered and they're gonna start getting tortured. So that's what that reference is there, because they're plotting to how they're gonna kill him, and once they do that, then of course he's gonna scatter. And then the other reference was Acts 14:6. So let me see what Acts 14:6 says. Acts 14.
We ain't got no requests for anybody to come up. Okay, we good.
So Acts 14:6 says, they were aware of it and fled into Lystra and Derbe, cities of Laodicea. I can't ever pronounce biblical words. There you go, Laodicea. And unto the region that lieth around it. And there they preached the gospel. So that's just talking about, hey, that we're going from city to city. So that's what those references were. It wasn't really anything to help in a theology.
I'm glad you said that, because Jesus said, he said, Matthew 24:14, this gospel shall be preached to every creature.
Yep.
And then the end will come. And what did Paul say? I got to find a scripture where Paul said that the gospel has been preached to every creature under heaven. You can go to Romans 10:19, where he says their voices went out into the world. In the book of Acts, say they turned the world upside down.
So turn the world upside down. That's like a colloquial saying. It doesn't literally mean they turn the world upside down, does it?
How do you know it don't mean that?
Well, I mean, I guess, it could have been a polar shift or something like that. I don't know, but I mean, literally, I don't think the world turned upside down at that point. But it's just like a saying, like they basically made a dramatic change in the world. They turned around the way the world would function forever, and they have.
If you go to Colossians chapter 1, Paul said the gospel has been preached to every creature under heaven.
Colossians chapter 1?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the verse. Colossians 1:23. Thank you.
Colossians 1:23, if you continue in the faith, grounded and settled, and be not moved away from the hope of the gospel which you have heard, and which was preached to every creature which is under heaven, whereof I, Paul, am made a minister. Who now rejoice in my suffering for you and fill up that which is behind of afflictions. Okay.
So that's
If
the
you can,
fulfillment of Matthew 24:14. When Jesus said this
uh,
gospel will be preached to every creature.
right. Okay.
Paul said it was done.
All right. And so then you're saying that by that logic that the end has come.
It had to happen in their lifetime. That's what I believe. For that time. That's the only way the whole book makes sense. Because there's so much stuff in this book that we can't even do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so it just makes sense. Like, and then Jesus will give you this nugget. Jesus said his coming shall be like the Son of Man. It should be like the days of Noah. So everything that Noah prophesied about the end and the coming, the end, the destruction of the world, it happened in Noah's generation. And so if his coming is going to be like the days of Noah, that means that Jesus had to fulfill everything that he said in the time he was living.